Hey YouTube, it's GoodNude73 making another episode of Knife Talk, and today we are going to be talking about Swedges. Now, have a few knives here, 3 with and 2 without. We'll just go from right to left. Now, a swedge is usually just a decorative little grind on the top of the knife right there. You can see on this Buck 301 Stockman it has a slight little swedge right there. Now, is a swedge good or bad? Really, it's all preference. One thing that it will do is it thins out the blade wherever it is, just by its nature, because you're grinding away steel to make just a different flat bevel. Nice part though with that is if you have a thicker knife, or a knife that has a pretty thick blade, like the Voyager for example, when you swedge it, you get sort of a thinner tip so you can pierce easier, but you still have that lateral force strength in the back. And then you have knives, obviously without a swedge. There's nothing there. Some people like that clean look, and for me, I can go either way. Sometimes a swedge, it can be done right or it can be done wrong. The Voyager is an example of a swedge I think was done right. You can see that it looks really nice, especially on this clip point blade. And you can see what I'm talking about here with the blade thickness deal. It's 4 mils all throughout here, and then they swedge it, but where this line is right here, that's still roughly almost 4 millimeters thick. So, it's like thin, thick, thin again. So you still have some strength up there, but it's not as, it's probably, I'd guess, it'd weaken the knife ever so slightly, or thin it out, obviously. Does that equate to strength loss? I have no idea. But in this case, I think it looks very nice. It's aesthetically appealing. And you could sharpen that if you wanted. I don't see why anyone would, though. Because when this knife is closed, it would totally cut you in your pocket. But beyond that, it does look very nice. And it goes with the blade design, the clip point. And Swedges, you can actually, if you have a regular Swedges like this one, this style Swedges, you can send it in to get it swedged. Honestly, I probably won't do that to mine simply because I like how thick the Swedges blade is. Very nice. And then we have another one over here. This is ZT0350, and you can see that there is a nice swedge right here. Now this knife, the swedge doesn't really, it's interesting how the swedge is on this one. Let me get a spine shot on this knife. So, alright, there we go. Right? Okay. So you can see how the knife, its main thickness, starting thickness back here, it's 0.121 inches, just a hair under an eighth. And you can see it's holding its thickness all throughout here, and then it gets slightly thinner right here because of the swedge. But then at the tip, when that swedge terminates, let me see if I can... When that swedge terminates, you can see the blade almost has this effect of flaring out, like the tip is thicker, because this tip portion right here and back here is the same thickness. So that's pretty cool how they did that. It makes it look like this knife has a very thick tip. And just another example of a swedge here that I have handy, which is on a much larger knife. We have the Becker BK9 Combat Bowie, and you can see the swedge on there. In my opinion, they put the swedge on this because of the name of the knife, the Combat Bowie. It's a big honking knife. I can't even get it in frame, but you can see that swedge. It looks pretty cool. Doesn't really thin the knife out that much. So overall, I think that swedges, they're good or bad. Depends on your aesthetic tastes in knives. If you like the way they look, then they're fine. If you don't, then there's obviously enough of each to satisfy anyone. So, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate the views. Requests are welcome. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.